Chick. Today we are going to be making a mead, and this one is a particularly interesting one, I think, anyway. It's called the Queen's Favorite Mead. Queen Elizabeth I, way back when. This recipe actually was written down in a book by Charles Butler. He was the Queen's head beekeeper. And he wrote a book in 1609, this was shortly after her death, called The Feminine Monarchie. And it actually is referring to the queen bees and the bees' roles, and not necessarily the Queen of England bee. Anyway, it is an interesting mead because it's very herbally. It's got some rosemary, thyme, bay leaves, some cloves, and some mace. And the recipe also calls for sweet briar leaves and petals. Well, I don't have sweet briars here. Those are basically wild roses that are found in England. And I think there's some here somewhere too. They could be considered a sweet briar rose, but I don't have access to those. But I do have access to roses, actual roses. My mom has some lovely pink and red rose bushes, and they were in bloom, so I grabbed some. I did freeze them though, because I didn't know when I was going to be able to make this recipe. So I've got rose petals, and I did grab some rose leaves as well, to go into the tea. And we're going to be making a tea of all these herbs, and then cooling it off, adding honey, yeast, a little bit of lemon juice, and we're going to be making our mead. So let's go ahead to the stove, and I'm going to show you making this tea, and we'll cut over there. Okay, folks, we're back at the oven now. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be actually putting all the herbs in except for the mace and the cloves. Cloves and mace are kind of on the strong side, so I don't want to boil the living daylights out of them, because this will boil for about 30 minutes. And so once I turn that off, then I will put the cloves and mace in. But I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing right now. So I've got a pot on the stove. Here goes my herbs into the pot. That's my thyme and my rosemary, my 4 bay leaves, and then I've got my package of rose petals and rose leaves. Let's see if I can get them out. I should have taken this out sooner. There we go. Now, I'm not sure if the actual recipe did call for actual petals. Several sources called actually rose hips. Some called just for the leaves, which I'm not sure if they mean rose petal leaves or the actual, like the actual green leaves. So I included both. I've got about an ounce of rose petals and about 2 ounces for the leaves. So we're going to go ahead and put some water in this. Let me get back up so you can kind of see what I'm doing. This is cool, clean, filtered water. Oops, sorry. Just enough to, you know, get that covered, or almost covered. We're going to bring this up to a boil and then turn it down to a simmer. We're going to simmer this for 30 minutes, and then we will come back and I will show you what we do next. It's so pretty, isn't that? All right, we'll be back. Okay, folks, it's been 30 minutes. So let's take a look and see. Well, how about that? Whoops, steamed up the camera again. All right, so it's simmered for 30 minutes. I'm going to turn the temperature off. We are going to go ahead and dump in the cloves and the mace. And then we're going to let this steep for another 30 minutes. And then we're going to strain it. I'm going to cover the lid with a lid. There we go. All right, we'll see you back in 30 minutes. All right, so we are back. We have the tea that I strained. That's the rosemary, rose petals, rose leaves, thyme, bay leaves, clove, and mace. So we simmered that for half an hour, and then we let it cool off for half an hour with the cloves and the mace in there. And at first it kind of smelled like I was doing like chicken soup or something. And then with the cloves and the mace, it's more, I don't know, it's still kind of a chicken soupy smell. I don't know. It will be an interesting brew, I think. So we're going to go ahead and add the honey into it. Now, I've got 2 different weights for the recipe. One recipe called for 3.5 pounds of honey. One called for 2 pounds of honey. I think 3.5 pounds may be a little too much to start with. So I'm going to go ahead and put in 2.5 pounds. Kind of go in the, you know, the medium range. And at the end of fermentation, if we need to add more honey, we can go ahead and add more at that time. I think 3.5 is going to be too overwhelming for the amount of sugar and yeast. So we're just going to do that. So let me kind of get some room here. Okay, we've got our scale. This is still warm, by the way, so it should be able to dissolve the honey. All right, so we've got the honey in here now. We're going to go ahead and get that shook up. Shook up? We're going to shake that up. Okay. Darkened up when the honey went in there. Weird. That is really weird. Huh. That is really weird that turned like that. I mean, that's like almost inky black. I don't know. Just so weird. We're still going to add some lemon juice to this. So let me go ahead and add that. Okay. That was the juice of 1 lemon. We are going to add some water to top this off. Open it first. There we go. Let's just go ahead and tipple this up and down a little bit. And then we're going to get out a hydrometer reading. Okay. That is so weird that it turned colors. as soon as I put the honey, started shaking up the honey. Well, as you can see, it looks like dirty water now. Hopefully that will clear by the time everything's been done, but I don't know. I mean, it looked like a regular kind of tea to start with. As soon as I put the honey in, though, it just kind of reacted. It's really weird. I don't know. Okay, so... All right, our specific gravity, I had some air bubbles. Let me see if I can get rid of that. Our specific gravity is going to be a 1.12. Get those bubbles off of it. Okay, so specific gravity is 1.122. All right, so we're going to go ahead and see. I don't think this is too warm now, so yeah, it's not too hot to put the yeast in now. Okay, and we are using our trusty 71B leaven, just a half package. There we go. The rest is going to go into the cooler. Let's go ahead and just kind of shimmy this a little bit one more time to get the yeast incorporated. Make sure the honey got incorporated. Yeah. All right. We have an airlock that we're going to put in. Or try to put in. There we go. All right, so we're going to label her, and we are going to hope for the best. I don't know. We'll probably give her a month or so to check on her, and we'll see how she's doing. I'm just really surprised at how it turned. This will be interesting. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks, and we will see you on the next video. Have a great day. Bye. I guess we'll try this again.